Reaper ribs hanging in the open air. Concrete heartbeat poured into nowhere. The level screams, the shattering moans. We anchor a ghost to a sky with no ground. Trembling void, dust blooms blow from the edge of nothing. The mixer coughs its gray sermon, stones and water grinding down your doubts. Footprints stamped on temporary plywood, bent nails glint like fallen teeth. The crane swings an iron vertebra into a skeleton that has no grave but
every vibration climbs your bones like a warning you refuse to hear.
wrapped around steel that never knew rust. Your hands sting in the lime water, skin peeling like paper from the formwork. You listen close for buried earth, but hear only echoes from the drum. The slump test fails in the wind's laughter, yet you sign your name in the curing scum. You hammer anchors into websites,
marking levels on invisible stone. The spirit of gravity waits below,
smiling, patient, sharpening its teeth. Pour the weight into the sky, let the slab float over emptiness. Foundation without soil, a promise nailed to nothingness. If it shifts, it drags you with it. Down through air too thin to scream.
you built a floor above your fear.
And now your fear becomes the beam.
Tie the rebar to your tendons,
Let the tension sing in red.
drive the stakes into your shadow.
In the outline of your tread.
No bedrock,
No mercy, only the echo of your tools.
you trade your spine for scaffolding.
Call it plan and call it rules. So pour the weight into the sky, bless the void with wet cement. Foundation without soil, blueprint signed in fingerprints. When it finally starts to settle, you feel your chest begin to sink. The only thing you ever grounded was your life into the brink. Rebar ribs resting in the open air. Concrete heartbeat too heavy to bear. splinters in your palm. Steps creak like old confessions. You try to go down, but every footprint climb. Maple threads its veins through each riser, golden ghosts in the grain. The bolts are blind and half corroded, still clinging to a vanished frame. You count the steps like years, 1, 2, 10, then lost. Every landing is above you, no matter what you've crossed. There is no bottom to this climb, only higher shades of fear. You drag your past behind you like a broken handrail made of years. This staircase only leads upward, even when you beg to fall. You chase a basement full of mercy, but find another hollow hole. Every downward thought you swallow turns to timber in your throat. The staircase that refuses descent keeps building rooms out of your hope.
Old sawdust in the corners, smelling of sweat and nicotine.
Not holes staring from the treads, little eyes that know where you've been.
You try to step back into regret.
He'll searching for a way to slip, but the wood grows an extra riser. Each time you think of quitting it, every creak is a verdict, every echo is a debt. Your weight writes a sentence the boards will never forget. This staircase only leads upward, even when you beg to fall. You chase a basement full of mercy, but find another hollow hole. Every downward thought you swallow turns to timber in your throat. The staircase that refuses descent keeps adding force to what you wrote. Rise, oh, exit. No level marker, no last step. You carve this climb with both your hands. Now you're trapped in what you kept. The nails sing out like tiny choirs, sharp hymns and bending steel. You thought you'd find the cellar door, but you're just stairs that learn to feel. The staircase only leads upward, in circles around your doubt. No descent, no clean escape, only new heights you can't get out. When your legs finally surrender, and the handrail splits in two, it won't collapse into the darkness. It will simply keep rising without you. Tape measure curls back like a frightened tongue, refusing to speak the length of this curve. Your pencil rolls toward the center, no edge to catch its fall. You hang a lamp from the ceiling's throat, light spills in a restless ring. Shadows slide along the plaster, never to blame, a sharp angle to cut through doubt. But every line you try to draw bends inward, shutting you out. In the room with no corners, nothing breaks, nothing aligns. Every thought becomes a circle, looping tight around your spine. No refuge in a quiet angle, no corner to press your back against. Just walls that keep on curving until your breath is coating your lungs in soft denial. The levels bubble, drifts forever, never choosing left or right. You lay tiles that refuse to grid, their edges soften as they set. The floor erases straight intentions, rounding every quiet threat. You nail down hopes in crooked arcs, trying to fake a perfect square, but this geometry of surrender turns every effort into snare. In the room with no corners, nothing breaks, nothing aligns. Every thought becomes a circle, looping tight around your spine. No refuge in a quiet angle, no corner to press your back against. Just walls that keep on curving until your breath is burned. Run, there is nowhere to turn. Hide, there is nowhere to fold. Pray, the ceiling leans closer. Breathe, the air grows old. You are the line that can't stay straight, shaken hand on trembling chalk. You are the angle that never formed, trapped in a room that doesn't stop. In a room with no corners, your mind becomes the frame. Every circle carved in plaster spells the letters of your name. When the lamp finally flickers out and the darkness starts to spin, you'll feel the walls inside your chest and know the room was always within. You open the latch on the present, but the frame sticks in no time. Every pane a locked in echo, every crack a crooked rhyme. The window facing yesterday never learned the word today. It shows you work you never finish, voices you let fade away. You press your hand against the glass, touch a ghost that wears your face. You can't step through, you can't go back. You just watch yourself leave the place. Mortar crumbles under your thumb, chalk lines flake from ruined brick. You see your younger shoulders tense, bent above a beam too thick. Someone laughs beyond the pallets, then the sound loops grinding thin. The scene rewinds at every blink, nails jump back into the tin. You wanna shout a warning to the man who doesn't know, but the past is double glazing, and your breath just fogs the snow. The window facing yesterday never learned the word today. It shows you work you never finish, voices you let fade away. You press your hand against the glass, touch a ghost that wears your face. You can't step through, you can't go back. You just watch yourself leave the place.
stretches across the plain, arching thought water that never came.
The wind slips through its empty ribs, whistling a hymn for the currents that failed you to exist. You walk its length like a memory undone.
Steps echo to more invisible
Fight
below, only grass bending in full sway.
imitating the river that never carved its name. Bridge built for no river, a journey meant for no shore. Your shadow lays over absence, waiting for a death that won't arrive.
This crossing leads to nothing.
Yet still your heart steps forward, breathing in the water.
That never learned to flow. Rust flowers on the guardrails.
Small blooms of forgottenity.
You touch them like relics.
Of a world where rivers obey their mouth.
The earth pretends to ripple.
The grass pretends to drown. The sky holds its breath
For a flood that will not
A bridge built for no river, a vow suspended in it. Still you cross again and again toward a shore that loves your thirst out.
even if
Paper breathing in the dark falls like sleeping ribs. Someone traced your future here long before you learned to ride. On the drafting table, the sheets like curled, edges brown like dried out leaves. Under the lamp, the ink is not quite black. It's the color of old rain and open veins. You smooth the wrinkles with your palms, feel the grain vibrate under skin. Every line is slightly trembling, as if drawn by a hand afraid of stopping. There, a staircase that never got built, spiraling through a house that stayed a rumor. Here, a room sketch twice erased, once the ghost of an extra wall still breathing. In the margins, initials half erased, letters bitten by time and fingerprints. You sound them out in a quiet murmur, names you don't remember learning.
you thought your life began with your own
Fresh pages
white rulers steady hands.
But the paper exhales a different story, ink rising like steam from buried years. Blueprints stained with blood lining, silent veins crossing pale blue fields. You unfold a past you never walked, yet it tightens around your chest. Every stroke is a borrowed breath, every curve a promise you inherit. The pages reading you aloud
before you read it.
Coffee rings like eclipses in the corners, circles of night someone worked alone. A thumbprint smudge across a bearing wall, bridge spiral frozen mid-decision. You trace it slowly with your nail, feel an echo in your own pulse. For a moment your hand and theirs overlap, two shadows drafting the same doubt.
Inanimate floors and numbered grids,
Faded pencil lines cross like roots. Try as you might, you cannot erase them. They return softer like a bruise. A bridge appears where no river is drawn, a doorway with no room around it. Someone believed in these impossible spaces enough to risk the ink.
you lift the sheet against the window.
Light pours through the empty spaces. Behind the lines you see not walls, but shoulders, eyes, and tired mouths. Blueprints stained with blood lining, silent veins crossing pale blue fields. You unfold a past you never walked, yet it tightens around your chest. Every stroke is a borrowed breath, every curve a promise you inherit. The pages reading you aloud.
Before you read it.
Their tools rusted, but the lines remain. Thin scars across your possible future. You hear the scrape of chairs at midnight, paper shifting, ruler kissing edge.
All we had was this.
They whisper from between the grids.
Lies and faith and a table.
That didn't collapse. Drums of your heart sync with their rhythm, footsteps pacing inside the margins. You realize every beam you'll ever draw leans on their invisible endurance. Blueprints stained with blood lining, fold after fold of hitting room. You breathe and the lines grow sharper, as if the page expects your answer. You pick the pencil, hand unsteady, and somewhere behind the yellow paper, they all lean in and watch. Not to judge, but to finally see what their unfinished world will become inside your head. The paper curls back to its resting shape, but the plans do not let go. You walk away, carrying always in your veins. Wrecks above the empty air. No hammers now, just the slow breathing of height. They have Structure leans but never falls, a lattice of tired timber and steel. Rain has learned its every angle, running familiar paths along its bones. Once voices climbed these frames, laughing, cursing, calling out plans.
earth, kiss the earth.
You tilt your head and almost hear it, the rhythm of workday lungs. This skeleton of scaffolding has memorized more hearts than you. The scaffold that outlived its builders stands alone in borrowed sky. It keeps the height of their intention long after their hands let go. Each rock carries a vanished footstep. Each brace remembers the strain. You climb and feel them rising through your trembling wings. The bolts reflect with orange memory, rust blooming in quiet crowns. You brush one with cautious fingers and a fine cloud of time lifts off. For a second you see it alive again, gloves thrown on railings, a thermos balanced on a brace, voices arguing over a misaligned beam. Then the vision drains back into silence like water slipping off old tarps. You place your foot on the first board, it yields just enough to greet you. A soft creak, half warning, half welcome, like a floor recognizing your fear.
With every rung you take, the air grows thinner and thicker at once. The world below loses its detail, but the structure's memory sharpens.
Your hands grip the same cold metal where someone else once wiped their sweat, their
Ghosts are not in the shadows, they are in the way this thing still stands.
the scaffold that outlived its builders stands alone in borrowed sky. It keeps the height of their intention long after their hands let go. Each run carries a vanished footstep. Each brace remembers the strain. You climb and feel them rising through your trembling Here the wind speaks clearer. Lists of names without tongues. Roll call of unfinished days.
The boards flex beneath your weight.
Testing the measure of your courage, you whisper,
I am not one of you. But the structure answers with a groan that sounds like
you are now. You kneel at the topmost platform, palms flat on sun-bleached grain. Heat splinters, faint vibration, as if the scaffold is still working quietly, building something invisible and tall inside you. The scaffold that outlived its builders holds the outline of their dreams. You stand where they once meant to stand, eyes level with an unfinished sky. If you listen past the silence, their breath returns as your own. You climb down different than you climb, carrying their height in your spine. The world closes around you again. Small, solid, known, but somewhere above your shoulder blades, a framework keeps on rising. X-ray glow on a silent wall, white shadows, black rivers. The doctor of light and bone. Avenues bloom where veins should be. You watch a thin road curve like a question, disappearing into the soft fog of tissue.
Every breath redraws the map,
Expanding neighborhoods.